Fans of the Horus Heresy, thank you very much for joining me again for another review. And today we're going to look at the Veletaris Storm Section. I'm going to do an overview of the actual miniature pack themselves, and then I'm going to talk about the rules and tactics for this unit in game. So miniature-wise, this Forge World kit is a 10-man strong. You get 10 guys. They're all armed with Volkite Chargers, as you can see. There are 10 different poses in the kit. However, the models are not multi-posable, so they look how they look. You can, once you've built them, you can warm them up with hot water or the hairdryer technique to reposition some arms a bit to get a bit more variety in if you want, particularly if you've got more than one squad like I have. So yeah, so you get 10 guys, you get a couple of specific guys. You get the squad leader, who we'll look at first, which is a prime. And here's a prime. So this guy's this guy's awesome. He's got a cigar, so you know he knows what it's all about. They've got this really neat sort of like spacesuit undergarment helmet things. Puts me in mind of sort of cooling garments that modern day astronauts wear underneath their spacesuits. So that's a really good look. They're in a heavier version of armour to normal Solar Auxilia. Lovely detail on it. They've got these lights on the shoulders as well. Yeah, really good. So the weapon and the hands come separately to the torso, and the prime has a separate head as well. You get a couple of head options in the kit for certain models. When you're building these, I pinged off a couple of these lights by accident. Some can be quite fragile, so yeah, one to watch out for that. If it does happen, I mean, I just drilled and pinned mine back in place, so they were fine. And again, as with the las rifle guys, you've got this little arm on the air supply unit just to watch out for there as well. Yeah, this miniature here, this is the Nuncio Vox carrier. So he's got a communication array on his backpack, a different design to the Solar Auxilia, a bit more sophisticated looking perhaps. Yeah, he looks like he's giving his battle cry and shooting his charger. The communication array is very, very delicate. It's actually, and this one's actually suffering from a case of deforestation, because this is what it actually looks like when you get it. It has these 3 prongs on it. Unfortunately, it's just so incredibly delicate that when I've been gaming with these, one got pinged off, and then it looks silly with just one on. So I took the other off as well. So yeah, I think perhaps he's just a bit too delicate. Now I've got this guy. We've got the can have a look at the optional head. So a way of getting a bit of individuality into the squad. And another deforested Vox relay operator. But you also get an alternate set of arms, and this guy here has got his rifle on his shoulder, and he's using his comms array to relay information of what's going on, perhaps for a bit of artillery. Let's take a look at one of the standard troopers. So they've got a very distinct, they've got a unique helmet as well that fits with the distinctive armour styling and separates them out from the standard Solar Auxilia. And these are the elites of the Solar Auxilia. Very nice models. Another thing is a Volkite Charger's got a nice distinct style to it with this side-mounted handle. Marine Volkite Chargers, Legion ones, don't have that, and you get the impression that the Marine will just hold it under here. Perhaps I don't know, due to some heating of the barrels and the fact these guys aren't wearing heavy powered armour, they've got these handles on there to prevent their hands from getting burnt. There's a few guys in some really dynamic running positions, like so. With these guys, I put a pin in and fed that pin into a piece of modelling putty or milliput on the base to make sure it doesn't break. Let's look at one more. The guy looks like he's about to burst around a corner. When you're building these guys, these arms I say is separate. These joints on these arms, these little sort of side hinges can get pinged off as well, so they're quite fragile. So one to watch out for when you're assembling there. So yeah, there's the 10 models of the Veletaris Storm Section. It's a really nice kit. The models look great. These are very nicely cast. They were dead easy to put together. So yeah, big thumbs up. So let's move on to talk about the rules for the Veletaris Storm Section. So these are troops. They follow the standard tertio rules. So you can have three Veletaris sections, or a mixture of the Veletaris, las rifle and flame sections in a single tertio. These guys are better. Their armour is better than standard void armour. It's hardened void armour. Reinforced void armour is the name for the equipment, and the effect of that is hardened. So they get to reroll saves against blast and template weapons, which is very handy if you're fighting people with flamers and frag grenades. They get a point better ballistic skill. Their base leadership is 8, and the prime, the leader's leadership, is 9. So morale-wise, these guys are rock solid and accurate for shooting, which goes very nicely with the fact that every single man in the squad carries a Volkite Charger. So they've got some serious firepower there. They all have a las pistol and a close combat weapon, frag and crack grenades. They keep all the standard Solar Auxilia infantry rules. So discipline fire, hold the line, and close formation fighting. I covered those in my review of the las rifle section, so if you want to go to that to get the details of that. They also get move through cover as well, which fits with their sort of stormtrooper objective seizing assault type capability, type style of play. There's quite a few weapon options for the prime, a variety of pistols, melter bombs. The Nuncio Vox is an upgrade. One really useful piece of equipment this squad can have is shroud bombs, and for 25 points you can make the squad very hard to attack in close combat. So firstly, shroud bombs are defensive grenades, which aren't very common in 30k, so that's one big tick in the box. And in addition, for units other than vehicles, demons, gargantuan creatures and units with night vision, if they want to assault the Veletaris equipped with shroud bombs, they have to pass a leadership test. And I certainly had this when I've been fighting Legion troops. They've tried to charge me, failed a leadership test, and then copped a set of Overwatch fire. And of course, with their discipline fire rule, that's 20 Volkite Charger shots at ballistic skill 2, which is a nice little wake-up call for the attackers. So yeah, the way I play them is I always equip them with the shroud bombs, because and then use them as assault infantry, and that works really well. Other equipment, you can exchange the Volkite Chargers for rotor cannons, so a lot of long-range firepower there at low strength, lots of hits. And then you can also, for 5 points per model, you can exchange all of their chargers for power axes. Now, if you do the power axe option, then you've got a rather you can create a very potent squad, because particularly when you couple it with the Lord Marshal Commander and his household retinue special rule, and what you can do is you can take these guys as household retinue. So if you do that, they lose their hold the line special rule, but they get +1 weapon skill, and they gain preferred enemy infantry, as long as the Lord Marshal is on table and not falling back. So you can actually turn these guys into a squad that can take apart Terminator Marines like nothing else in close combat. Again, the power axes coupled with the shroud bombs mean that you can dictate the terms of the attack, and your low initiative with the power axe isn't really going to hurt you, given how many most Terminator squads are 5 men strong, and it works against Marines as well. So yeah, that's potent. The other thing I think is very effective with the Storm section is to equip them with the Dracosan armoured transport, armed with a demolisher cannon, flare shield, and a few other upgrades to serve as a real hammer assault unit. And I'll talk about that tactic in detail when I review the Dracosan, but that's certainly the way I play them. And believe me, 3 Dracosans with 30 of these guys coming at you is quite something to try face down. So yeah, I think that's everything I like to say about the Veletaris Storm section for their rules and the miniatures themselves. What do you think of the Veletaris? If you'd like to make an observation, please do so in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you later, and goodbye.